Let's put together the skills that you've learned in this course to add functionality to our To-Do app. We'll start by displaying only completed or incomplete tasks. Then we'll explore sorting multi-dimensional arrays using a particular inner key element. For our to-do list, this would be the title, priority, due date, or completion status. And finally, we show only the tasks due in the next week. So let's get started. For each of these new features, we're going to create a list of keys in a particular order. We'll use an indexed array for this, so let's create a new array named order. Order equals array. Let's add the filter for complete status first. In this for each loop, I want to use the key as well as the value of the item, so we can use the top for each loop that we set up last time. For each list as key item. You can pull either the key value pair, as we're doing here, or just the value, like we did below. You can't pull the key by itself. Once we have a variable for the key and the item, we can use both of them in our statement. First, we'll use a conditional statement to check the completion status. If item complete, then we'll add the key to our order array. Let's var dump the order array and the list array to see what we have. Right-click and view source. The values in our order array correspond to the keys in our list array, but only the keys where the status is complete. Now that we know what our arrays look like, we can comment out these var dumps. Now, instead of looping through the list array for our table, we'll loop through the order array so that we only use the items in the order array. We use each item as the key in our list array. For each order as ID. I'm going to name the variable ID because this identifies the list item we're going to use. I then change this to list ID. Let's change item to list ID for each field. Now let's refresh the browser. The table now shows only the items that are complete. This is nice, but we probably want to show incomplete items. We could change our conditional to look for a false value by adding the negation operator before our variable. But let's make it easy to change between complete and incomplete. Instead of hard-coding the status in the conditional, let's use a variable named status to represent true or false. We can then set this status variable at the top of the file. This allows us to make changes to what our script will display right at the top of the file. With our status variable set to false, let's refresh the browser. Now let's change our status variable to true. And refresh the browser once more. When our status was set to false, we saw a list of incomplete items, and when our status was set to true, we see a list of completed items. Finally, I still may want to see all the items, so let's add the ability to set the status equal to all. Because we're using the order array for the display, I need my order array to be set. So I can't just skip this section if we want to show all statuses. Instead, I'm going to add another conditional to check if status is equal to all. If so, I want to add all the keys from my list array to my order array. There's another built-in function that will do just that. It's called array keys. Order equals array keys and our list array. Else, we'll loop through our status. If the status equals all, we add all the keys to our order array. Else, we loop through our list array and add only the keys of the items with the proper status. Let's refresh the browser with status set to all. Once again, we see all the items. Next, let's add the ability to sort by field. We'll set up a field variable at the top of the file. Then we can set it equal to the field we want to sort by. Let's choose priority. Then we can add another conditional below the status code. If field, meaning if our field is set. Then we're going to sort by that field. We'll need to create a new in-between array for sorting. We'll call this sort, and we'll set it equal to array. We're going to loop through the order array and use the value as the key for our list, just like we're doing for the display code below. For each, order as ID. Then we're going to set the sort key equal to the ID. We'll also use the ID to set the value equal to the value of the field we've chosen for our sort. List ID field. That was quite a few pieces, so let's var dump our sort and our list arrays. Back in the browser, we'll refresh the page and view source. The key in our sort array matches up to the key in our list array, and the value in our sort array matches the priority of our list array. Let's go back to Workspaces and change the field to sort by title. Now when we refresh the browser source, we see that the key of our sort array still matches up with the key of our list array, but now the value of the sort array matches the title of the list array. Let's get rid of these var dumps and move on. Now that our sort array is ready, we can use a sort. This sorts the array by value, which in this case is the title, while keeping the key association the same, which is important because our last step is to update the order array. We set order equal to the array keys from our sort. Let's refresh our browser and see what we have. We now have a table with all our items ordered by title. Great job! Now let's go back and change the field to priority. Now we see our items in order of priority. Awesome!